And it's time we bring in our guest this afternoon over here. We have Alena from Fair and Martin from the Stalemate Factor. We'd like to welcome the both of you to TRAXXfm. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, thanks for having us, man.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so no stranger to music, both of you are. Alena's been here a couple of months back.
It's
Yeah?
been a minute, yeah.
Yeah, and then Martin, is this your first time to TRAXXfm?
On TRAXXfm, yes, but yes, certainly I've been around in the music scene for about 30 years.
You've been around for a long time, I know. I've seen you around. Yes. Okay, so anyway, the Stalemate Factor and Fair, right? So we spoke about Fair. How is Fair doing now?
Doing good. We have a show coming up on May 3rd. That's for World Press Freedom Day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's being held at Studio Anggo, and we are playing alongside a couple of bands that include
Stalemate Factor, one of them.
Stalemate Factor and Katrika, and we have Sujesh Pavitran, who is going to be doing a comedy set, but he's also a musician.
All right.
And there's a poet called Effa Kamariani.
Nice. Written any new material since then?
Yes, I have, but nothing that I can share with you today.
Why?
It will come in due time.
You know what the rule is, right?
What is the rule?
If it's going to be released on air, it's got to come to TRAXXfm first.
Okay. Deal.
Right? Because all the other stations
You can shake on it.
don't matter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I like you. Okay. Martin, tell us about Stalemate Factor.
Yeah, well, we're actually recording our 5th album right now. Somewhat ironically, more than half of our material was recorded during the pandemic.
Okay.
So the band has been, by force of circumstances, a studio project for most of its tenure. But we only started playing live regularly around 2022. And yes, we too will be at the show. And of course, World Press Freedom is something that's close to our hearts because I've been a journalist for nearly 30 years as well. So this is something that it's sort of a confluence of all our interests.
Correct. And the both of you are connected with music in a larger sense rather than just being two different bands, yeah?
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Yes, correct. My late daughter Aishan was a founding member of Fair alongside Alena. And so especially their album is sort of a posthumous tribute. That I would say is the main connection. Also on the last Stalemate Factor album, both Alena and Aishan guested on vocals for a few songs.
Nice, lovely. Okay, so we've got Stalemate Factor and we've got your album in there, and we're going to play a song so that people get to listen to you first. Citadel of 26. What's this about?
It's mixed imagery. It's partly set in the medieval time, but it also tells the tale of having relationships that don't necessarily fall within conventional parameters.
Right.
Yeah. So it's intertwined.
Okay, so we listen to this first, and we come back later on. We find out what's on the mind of a composer and a songwriter, and we'll speak to the both of them, Alena and Martin, right here on TRAXXfm.
Six and 20 is a line you may never cross. We stand outside the citadel, waiting for the Trojan horse. We stand our backs against the wind, circle round the lake. We are besieged side by side, waiting for the dawn to break. And so the drawbridge lowered on some distant day. Only truth can lead to magic, Only light can guide the brave. Six and 20 is a crime.
Where do I draw the line?
The space between you and I
know I can't deny.
It's like a game of chess in which
Rewrite the rules and I'll
none may make the first move.
throw caution to the wind.
And so the drawbridge lowers on some distant day. Only truth can lead to magic. Only light can guide the brave. Six and 20 they take flight,
Under cover of night,
riding out to sea,
being at the highest speed.
where the road ahead will lead.
Wherever you may be,
For now they are free,
I'll follow your lead.
and so the drawbridge lowers on some distant day. Only truth can lead to magic. Only light can guide the brave.
Stalemate Factor in the studios of TRAXXfm. We just heard the Citadel of 26. What inspired you to get a title like that?
Well, okay, so over the course of various Stalemate Factor songs, we do use medieval imagery.
Right.
But at the same time, in this case, 26 was about the age gap between people in relationships.
26 between people in relationships.
Yeah, so a
All right,
26-year
explain.
age gap. So it was partly a hint at that as well.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's how the
So how did you
lyrical
get to write a song about that? I mean, why?
well, society has a lot of conventions and expectations, and largely I've thought, like, why, instead of saying let me follow, I'm like, why is it the case that I have to follow?
Right. Why not?
Yes, so that often is a theme in my song. Like, why do you believe what you believe? Did someone tell you, or did it really happen? Is there a constructive reason for you to believe it?
Right.
Or are you just going along with the flow?
Right. Interesting. Alena, what do you say to that?
I agree. I zoned out.
Right. So when you're writing your stuff,
Yes.
yeah, what are your thoughts when you write?
So when I write my stuff, a lot of what my songs are about, they're stuff that I see every day in my work and my travels and stuff. One of my songs, which is called "The Home in the Sea," is written about, for example, the plight of the orang asli. It's something that I covered a lot as a journalist working in Malaysia Kini.
Right.
And so, yeah, I find inspiration everywhere, really. You put me in the jungle, I'll write about the trees. And
Oh, nice.
I'll be on the beach and I'll write about the sea and all that.
Correct. And so your latest writings you're talking about now are about
A lot of them are about stuff that I see on the news. It's quite
on the news,
depressing, but
right?
yeah.
So, is there a message in your songs?
I think the songs that I'm writing right now, they're about wanting to see young people take a stand in society,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's effectively it, I guess.
Right. Not happening enough, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Correct.
I think we saw there were protests in America, for example, against Donald Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they were saying that youth turnout is very low because there's this fear going around of
Mm-hmm.
university students being kicked out of their universities for taking a political stance. So I guess there's that culture of fear.
Right. So you sing about all that and you
All
talk
that,
about all that inside there. Right. Okay. And Martin, yeah. What else goes on in your mind when you're writing a song? How do you start your writing process?
Oh. Okay, so I guess it's about telling a story. That's a key link in my music and my work as a journalist, and I also am a published author.
Mhm.
At heart, you want to be able to tell a story.
Right. Martin's a journalist. You heard that right. It's Martin Venkatesan. If you're wondering, yes, it is. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So essentially, for example, the song that Alena talked about, writing about Orang Asli, is partly because as journalists, we realize there are 18 Orang Asli groups in Semenanjung and 13 are under threat of extinction. So it was we started to cover a law case about the Seletar people in southern Johor, and that's the kind of thing that we felt like writing about. But that's her. There are many different issues. For example, Ashes on the album
Uh-huh.
is actually a song about the resistance movement against Nazi Germany in World War II.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are lots of different stories and spatial settings that I use.
Interesting. So the album's called The Rook Siege, and this is
Yes.
available to anyone. How do they get their hands on this? Is it on your platforms as
Yes,
well?
basically you contact us. You can write to us at our YouTube channel, on Facebook, on Instagram. That's the
Mhm.
easiest way. Because right now, you can go to certain stores around town, but
Yeah.
basically people aren't going to stores that much anymore to get new CDs. So it's the easier way might be to contact me directly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the questions that Zam has prepared over here for you. Can you answer question number 3? Zam. Okay, Zam has put this in such big print. I tell you, you can read it from the wall, from the back of the studio. Do you start with the lyrics or the music when composing? Is what he wants to know.
Okay, I dare say it ends up being the music because the lyrics often have a fine-tuning process. Sometimes they come together, but later on when I look at the lyrics, I think, oh, okay, I've used this word too often here. Or I think the lyrics in my songs tend to go through an editing process, a bit like an article might. So I do know that there's a lot of fine-tuning later that comes with the lyrics.
So the song, so you get the melody first.
Yes.
And that melody kind of like speaks to you and tells you what kind of a title it might want to have.
Correct. Actually, it's
Or
more
a story for you
yes.
to tell.
I tend to write on chords more. So I will find a chord pattern and then write a melody and words over it.
And your chords are from guitar or keyboard?
It's both. I used to play mainly just keyboards. So a lot of my earlier songs are just keyboard songs. But lately, for example, that last one that you heard, Citadel of 26, is a song that was written on the 12-string guitar. Yeah.
All right. So then go on. That you were saying.
Yeah, so you sort of take inspiration from them, and it's like sometimes my very first song that survives, I actually wrote when I was 15 or 16. It's called Call to Arms, and it's on our second album.
Okay.
So the music is almost exactly what I wrote when I was 15, 16, but the lyrics have been changed a lot because every few years I decide, I was quite childish, or those are
You grow
very
up.
naive, yes, naive lyrics. But yes, even that song is interestingly about whether a society benefits more from revolution or reform. Because I was looking at the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, and you realize
Heavy,
that
yeah.
yes,
Heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're happy you take a step back sometimes and you just like look at your song all over again, right?
Yes,
Like,
correct.
you might compose something now and then keep it in the closet and then bring it
Yes.
out after 2 years,
correct.
and then you might not regret.
Yes, and in many cases, what happened is the bulk of the Stay Made Factor songs were written in my teens and 20s, but I didn't get around to recording most of them until I was in my 40s.
Right.
So they had many
this
years
being
to
because of
gestate.
the technology that's available.
Yes, exactly. The technology is available. The time that I had, my children had grown up. I had also had some money set aside to be able to finance it, which I didn't have when I was in my 20s. So a culmination of factors have led to me being able to record music in my 40s and 50s that I wasn't able to in my teens and 20s.
Right. Alena, see how lucky you are.
Yes.
So you got into the
Age to
time.
live in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The age that you live in, yeah?
Yes.
And you're able to compose and do stuff with all the technology that's available now.
Yeah, I think the beauty of it all is you can get a relatively cheap audio interface and plug in at home, and you can have a pseudo home studio and come up with a relatively decent demo, right?
Right.
I think artists like Billie Eilish have done such things. Some of their biggest hits were recorded at home on a dinky little audio interface and mic, and it sounds great. It sounds as
So
good
what's it
as-
like working with Martin?
It is good.
You better
I'm
say
not
something
used-
nice, yeah.
I'm not used to writing in a partnership. I'm quite a solo writer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think writing Citadel with him was quite a process. He came up with most of the songs, and I came up with a few lines,
Right.
the melodies.
So you
the
guys like
practice.
get like say like no, this lousy. And how do you tell each other it's lousy or I don't agree with it, I don't like it? If you don't like it,
That rarely happens, but
Right.
what happens more often is I'm a bit stuck here. Do you have any ideas? So, for example, particularly with the Faye Fair album, both my daughter Aishan and Alena had, in some cases, they had the main melody and the words for the songs, but they didn't. At the beginning, they didn't have so many arrangement ideas.
right?
Then I did just add one or two suggestions, and the next thing you know, they took off, and they were doing it really well. Yeah.
All right,
so-
I'm putting in the CD for Faye Fair. Please entertain the listeners. Martin, carry on.
Yes. So, for example, there's a song called "Telephone" which my daughter Aishan wrote.
On
And-
Faye Fair?
Yes.
Okay.
And then that one
the
I,
8th track, if I'm
yes.
not wrong.
and that's one where I contributed the piano line. Yeah. And similarly, I play bass on one of their songs, because that particular album we had this the case of completing an album
Uh-huh.
from existing work where one of the performers had already passed away.
Right.
So it was also very emotional. But yes, so we were able to connect in terms of music ideas. And I don't think we've had a direct conflict. Like, essentially, I think in our influences like Beatles, Queen, Pink Floyd and all that overlap enough for us not to dislike strongly what anyone else brings in. And it's the same for all the band members in Stay Made Factor, and I guess the same in Faye Fair too.
Right. Okay. So I've got Faye Fair over here, and I'm going to play Telephone, and this is the one that you're saying that you had to finish.
Yes, I helped my daughter finish it when she was writing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And Alena, what can you tell us about Telephone?
I think Telephone was written when Aishan was 16. So I think it kind of shows that she had this talent from an early age. And
Right. How old were you both when you were friends?
2022, I would have been 23 and she would have been 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you'd known each other for a long time already before, prior.
No, actually we met through Martin. So
Mm-hmm.
it was around the time that we wrote Citadel that I met Aishan.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you had your own side project with Aishan,
Yes.
and this is it, Telephone, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's listen to
Hope
Telephone.
you know that you took me for granted, yeah, you did. 'Cause you know not everyone's gonna let you treat them like a kid. I was so vulnerable with you, saw on my skin. All I know is you never cared what I was feeling. On the other side of time, on the other side of time, on the other side of time.
And there you have it. Alena and Martin are our guests in the studios over here this afternoon. And we're talking to them. The Stalemate Factor is Martin's band. Fayfair is Alena's band. And they've worked together before prior to this with some of the songs on Fayfair as well. And Martin was just telling us about that little, your joint venture that you did for Telephone.
Yes, correct.
Martin's daughter Aishan sings in that track over there for Telephone. And which is the one that you sing, Alena?
I sing
Home in the Sea?
Home in the Sea, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's in track 5, is it?
Yes.
Oh, lovely. Okay, tell us about Home in the Sea while I do this. Go
So
on.
that was the song that I was talking about earlier. It's about the plight of the Orang Asli. I think they face quite a few structural challenges. For example, the recognition of their ancestral land rights. And it's a song that means a lot to me because I'm half Bidayu. My mom is from Sarawak. And so the kind of issues that I saw happening to the Orang Asli in Semenanjung, Malaysia, I saw in Sarawak as well, although to a lesser extent. I think the Bidayus are less affected by it. But I wrote that song while I had COVID. And
Well, you had
it felt
COVID.
like, yes.
A
So
lot of
it came to me in a fever dream and,
Yeah.
and slowly bit.
In a
bit
fever
by bit.
dream. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. A lot of people who come here and says, I wrote this song during COVID. You know, you're the first one that said I wrote
I had COVID.
when I
and
had
got-
COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. And what was your writing process like? What was your,
For
how
thi-
did you start?
For this song, it was, I had the chord progression. So
On guitar.
on guitar. So for the verse, it's centered around the A minor chord. So I was playing around with that. Some of my favorite songs are
She's actually
written with
playing the
A
guitar,
minor key.
the air guitar, as she,
you
as
can't
she
see.
says.
I'm strumming. And I thought it was a nice chord progression, and the words came very naturally because I was writing this very long, almost like a dissertation on
Right.
on the state of the.
And you like having your guitar high, isn't it? You're
Yes, like who is it? John Lennon or George
not.
Harrison?
You're not the Slash kind of.
Oh, no.
No, there, no.
There's
You're
a time and place for that.
Okay. All right. So when you're rocking out, you bring
Yeah.
it down
Yeah.
lower. Okay. Interesting. What about you, Martin? Martin's had hair like wow. I
Yes.
don't know if you collected his hair. What could you have done with your hair?
Well, yes, I once didn't cut my hair for 16 years, but sadly that was a long, long time ago. And now I'm as bald as they come.
16 years, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that was back in the 90s and 2000s.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And what was this? A Home in the Sea. Yeah. And then you were saying, yeah. So from guitar, and then you put your tracks down. And who was in this song with you?
So with me was, unfortunately we didn't get to capture Aishan's vocals for that, but live we had played it at Merdekaria and places like Porkville. On the recording we had Lisa Fuad from the band Fuad
All right.
and Wani Ismail, who's the violinist on this track, and an Indonesian poet and musician Bank Riyadi. I think that's the cast of characters and the Fayfair band members as well.
Right. And when did you record this? How long was it? How long did it take to get the song done from the time you conceptualized it?
Oh, okay. So I think I wrote that song around August 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think by the time I finished it, it was December 2023.
Right.
Yeah. So, but for that album in particular, we were in the studio for about 6 months. For all
6
10
months in the studio.
Yeah, for all 10 tracks.
Right.
So we were
That's
working on
going to be
different
costly,
songs.
isn't it?
Yes, it was.
Right. Having to be in the studio for 6 months, Martin.
Well, to be fair,
Fayfair.
yes, because of the circumstances, our friend who was producing it was also sort of gave us a sort of compassionate rate, so it was not as expensive as it might otherwise have been.
Right.
Because my producer also knew my daughter, who would come in to do recordings on the Stalemate Factor album. So he was also very sympathetic and sorry. So hence, I guess the cost of this album is not what it otherwise would have been. Because it also involved a little bit of technology. Some of the songs had to be salvaged from... They weren't direct recordings in the studio. In fact, one of them was my daughter singing into a WhatsApp message. But she played the whole song and got it. So we salvaged the vocal track and then build the track around that. But because the source material isn't as loud, it's not the same volume or quality as recording in the studio. So we had to manage the sound of the rest of the band around her vocals. So there were interesting things like that, which we couldn't have done anyway.
Is that here? No?
Yes, it is.
It is? Which one is that?
That one is...
While number 2. So that should be track
Siren?
while number 2.
While number 2.
Oh.
While number
Track
2.
7 or something like
Oh, while number 2. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, it's there. All right, we got Home in the Sea, and then after Home in the Sea, maybe we'll listen to While number 2.
Sure,
That's
sure.
interesting. How you got that? Did it get this sort of like video Kill the Radio Star? No.
No, it was not like that. It was
Right.
luckily it was clear. There are one or two mistakes which we left in, but basically it's a sort of verbatim recording. And our producer Ash Ashwin Gobinath
Uh-huh.
used his skills to salvage the raw material and turn it into a releasable track.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, since we're talking about that, let's listen to While number 2, and then we'll come back to Home in the Sea.
Sure.
Would you stay? If I asked you to, would you stay? Yes, I'm saying forever. Only if you do. Be around someone like me. I would stay if you wanted me to. I would stay, but I might leave you. It should be easy. It's so easy to be around someone like you. Your eyes are glowing and your smile is mine. Your hair is flowing and your lips are mine. How's others? Why bring them? They can't take your Yes, it's
Fair. Wild number 2.
While number 2.
I like that. I like the mistake, especially that
Thank
little natural.
Charming, isn't it?
Yeah,
Charming, isn't
it
it?
is.
Yeah.
It is. Natural and that's the way music should be kept. Always natural and real. And yeah,
Yeah,
I miss the time when
100%.
bands actually went into the studio, record something, and totally did it one take or two
Yes.
takes or whatever or 100 takes.
Yeah.
But they all played together and they made music together. And whatever happened.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of actually creation and creating music, right?
Yes.
So yeah, oh nice, that one over there. So Home in the Sea is what we want to listen to after this, and then we want to listen to Martin's touch of Iron Maiden
Yeah.
in Stalemate Factor over there. So if you don't know already, our guests in the studios this afternoon are Alena from Fairfair, the band, and Martin from the Stalemate Factor over here. Both of them talking about albums and talking about their songwriting processes and some of the material that they have on their albums. And we talked about it many times and we haven't gotten down to that song, so I'm going to get down to that song right now. But
Yes.
you just entertain the listeners for it?
Okay. So Home in the Sea, not to be confused with Genesis, Home by the Sea. I think you're
Yeah.
about to slip into.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
It's also nice. This song, the arrangement is a little different because it has flute and violin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and the chord pattern is also a little out of the ordinary.
Right,
So I
correct.
think, yeah.
I noticed that about both your bands, and you both have like very different styles of music and presentation, especially, yeah.
Yes.
And
yeah.
and why is that? Is that because of your personal taste?
I think so. For me, I really like augmented chords, which I think this next song features.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that George Harrison does a lot, so I
Alright.
think I picked it up from there. The way I write songs, I often write the lyrics first and then I hum the melody and I try to find the right chord that fits that.
Okay. Do you think George Harrison has one of the best "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" versions?
Yes. You were talking about bands that do live takes, right? I think there's that, you've mentioned this once, the Hey Up at the start of My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was yeah, the Beatles, of course, were people who just left a lot of ad libs in on the final version.
Correct.
And that again captures the excitement. Going back to what you said about the chords and the writing, I think the one way of looking at it is we look for what's different rather than what sounds a bit the samey,
Mhm.
with other people.
Yeah.
So we tend to try to find some differences, especially in my case in terms of arrangement.
Right.
Because I'm not that strong a singer, a powerful lead vocalist like I would like to be, but I often use building arrangements as my tool. when it
Right.
comes to writing the songs.
Right. Neither is Mark Knopfler.
But-
Ding, ding, ding,
Yes.
ding, 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 ding. Okay, come. Let's listen to "Home in the Sea," not "By the Sea."
Yes.
I watch the seawater flood the floors. The flame consumed my dwelling place. I choked on smoke as I saw no more. And it all happened on Christmas Day. A home in the sea. I'm building a home in the water, but it's not going much further. You raised it on Christmas Day, boot deep in the troubles you face. I raised your feet off the table. Your actions read like the baddies in a fable. It's a cold, cold riverbed. A cold, cold night. faint groove of a landmine waiting to combust. Destroy us if you really must. It's you I'm meant to trust. But you can't see I'm down on my knees. I'm so tired. I'm down on my knees. All my life. I'm down on my knees. I'm so tired. I'm down on my knees. All my life. Need a hole in the sea. See.
I like that. Alena and Martin. That was Alena on vocals. And Martin, were you doing anything that song over there?
No, I was just admiring it from a distance.
You were too busy, at the time. Okay, tell the people what's going on and where they can get to watch you perform and where they can find out more.
Okay.
Everything that needs to be told.
All right. So, yes, in terms of finding out more, you can find us on different avenues, our usual Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and even details, I think, on Wikipedia. But in terms of our next gig, it's on May 3rd. It's in honor of World Press Freedom Day. So there are 3 bands, 1 comedian and 1 poet who will be taking the stage. And for example, even the poet has an activist background. The comedian is a former journalist, and all 3 bands have members who are journalists as well. So I'll be there with my band, the Same 8 Factor, which includes Joanne Timbong, Malcolm Ambrose, Thomas Toh, and Hari Sam. And we'll be playing about 7 or 8 songs which have a bit of a activist theme and singing about social issues. And it isn't always political. For example, we have a song called "A Song for an Abused Child," which is about a very sad social ill that we have. And yes, so we'll also be on board with Payfair and another band called Katrika. So that is going to be at Ara Damansara, a place called Studio Angok, on May 3rd.
Right, and people can get their tickets via?
People can get their tickets by contacting me at 012-972-0029. I'll just say that again.
Yeah, do it in a DJ voice.
012-972-0029. That was my best attempt at it. This is actually the second iteration of this gig. So we had this last year at Motown in the center of town, and that was featuring bands like Shediam, Payfair as well, and a couple of poets. So it's nice to bring it back, especially since the media industry isn't doing so well. I think there were industry-wide layoffs across various news portals and news agencies. So we're also offering a rate for retrenched journalists to just
nice.
come out and enjoy the arts
Yeah.
one night. in
Yeah.
solidarity with the cause. Yeah.
That's right. Get together with the old gang and have a good time, isn't it?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Martin's got some books as well. You've written over there, Martin.
Yes.
Yeah. Which books are these, and how are these books available?
Should hold them
Okay.
up.
So most of my books are. This is my most recent book.
Uh huh.
101 albums you need to hear before I die.
It's got a picture of Jimmy over there in
Yes.
front. I like.
Yes.
Right. Go on.
And that's basically about it's about music trivia, because I used to be a music journalist with the Star many years ago, and I used to write about all kinds of interesting stories that happened within the world of rock music in particular.
Right.
For example, let's just talk about Billie Holiday writing about lynching in her song "Strange Fruit." And then I was also able to interview many people who I'd grown up idolizing, like B.B. King and Carlos Santana and Phil Collins and so on and so forth. So I put that in the book as well.
You interviewed B.B. King and Carlos Santana.
Yes, I did.
I
did.
hate you, Martin.
That was quite some time ago. Yes. But yes, I did. I also, by the way, did 35 stories on boy bands because they were really, really big in the 90s. Although none of them have made it to my book because I'm not particularly.
Yeah. That part is all right. I don't mind. No jealousy there.
But yes.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so that book's available as well. We'll get to go see Martin and also the Stalemate Factor and Fairfair, yeah?
Yes.
And we will be giving out to you later on the context again and how to get in touch. But I want to listen to the Tomb of Osiris right
Yes.
now. What is it? Osiris.
Yes, the Tomb of Osiris.
Osiris.
When I wrote that, I was thinking, can I try to write an Iron Maiden type song on the piano? And you'll hear it is. You'll hear the end result. But also conceptually, I thought about. I looked at the ancient Egyptian religion, because a lot of times, what is myth to us now, for example, the Norse gods, the Greek gods, they were actually people worshipped them 2,000, 3,000 years ago, and the evolution of religion has always interested me. So the evolution, the history of religion. So this is actually written from the point of view of the last priest of a dying religion, the Tomb of Osiris.
Well, thank you both, Alena and Martin. Thanks for being our guest at TRAXXfm.
Thanks for having us.
Yes!
Welcome to the dungeon, said the keeper of the crypt. I am the faithful servant of the Lord God Osiris, high priest of his sacred tomb, vessel for the divine, bearer of his justice, his glory will be mine. I can hear them calling, voices that fly through the night. I can see it falling, a passage that crumbles with time. Can you feel it?
Good afternoon, Salam Malaysia Badani. The news at 4. Well, negotiations between the federal and state governments regarding the Malaysia Agreement 1963 or MA63 can be resolved amicably without the need to bring the matter to court for legal interpretation. And Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof assured that Sarawak would not involve the courts in finalising the legal interpretation of MA63, emphasising the preference for discussions at the highest leadership levels. He expressed confidence that strong cooperation between the Badani government and state administrations would lead to a resolution as outlined in the federal constitution. Meanwhile, 35 medical officers from the Malaysian Armed Forces will be sent on a humanitarian mission to earthquake-hit Myanmar. Defence Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin said this follows the government's agreement in principle to set up a Malaysian field hospital in Myanmar, which was devastated by an earthquake on March 28th. However, he said the hospital's capacity and location would be determined later, pending approval from the Myanmar government. In other developments, as Malaysia prepares for Chinese President Xi Jinping's 3-day visit on Tuesday, there are high hopes for strengthened bilateral ties and increased investment and technological cooperation. Now, this is Xi's first visit since Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim took office in 2022. And Principal Advisor at the Pacific Research Centre of Malaysia, Dr. Oh Aison, expressed optimism for more high-tech investments from China, which could create jobs and facilitate technology transfer. Well, separately, the Ministry of Education has assured that a transparent investigation is being conducted following the death of a male student from Tengku Mahkota Mal Sports School, or SSTMI, Johor, who drowned last November. And Education Minister Alena stated that the ministry is carrying out an internal investigation into the case and has also referred the investigation to the authorities. She assured the family of the victim and anyone affected by this incident that it will be investigated with full integrity. And finally, on the foreign front, British Foreign Secretary David Lammy expressed a deep concern after UK lawmaker Vera Hobhouse was denied entry to Hong Kong, stating he would address the issue with Chinese authorities. Well, Hobhouse, a member of the Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China, claimed she is the first British MP to be refused entry since the 1997 handover. Well, she travelled to visit her newborn grandson but was detained upon arrival, questioned, and sent back to the UK. Well, that concludes the news edited by Putri Rosley, and from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thanks for listening, folks. And coming up within the next hour, we will be having Prime at 5. Do hope you'll join us then. And till then, it's back to good times right here on Traxx's lovely Sunday with Night, the Greenman.
Thank you very much, Peter Carlos from Wismar Bridge RTM for the news on TRAXXfm. Yo, Pete! Notice I got your music a bit late. Hang in there. All right. Yo, Pete! All right. Okay, Pete.
Yep.
Are you ready for some questions over here this afternoon where you're supposed to get all the answers wrong?
I am not ready, but that's already a wrong answer.
Okay, good. I like that. Okay, let me just get this over here. Our guests are still in the studios. It's Alena and Martin. I hope you enjoyed the music.
Didn't get to listen.
Oh, you were outside?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
What Swedish band is famous for winning the 1974 Eurovision with Waterloo?
Oh. Boney M.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right because you didn't say ABBA.
Yeah.
All right, now who was known as the king of pop? Fast. You got to be fast, Pete. Come on.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Yes, I like it. You're right because you did say Michael Jackson.
Of course.
What band released the 1969 album Abbey Road?
Oh, this one is
Yeah.
a difficult one.
Come on.
Right. Mokhtar Dahari.
I knew it was coming. I knew. Okay, what is Eminem's real name?
Oh, chocolate pudding.
You're right, because you didn't say Marshall Mathers. What English rock band was infamous for smashing up hotel rooms and musical equipment?
Oh, we all know that one.
Who? Duran. It was the Who. Okay. What type of guitar was used by Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, Nile Rodgers, and Jeff Beck?
The one that is made of plastic?
Couple.
Yep.
Fender Stratocaster. Where is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame located?
Everyone doesn't know that.
Come on.
Jalan Alo.
I knew it. Okay, Cleveland, Ohio is wrong. Identify the band from its members: Starchild, Demon, Spaceman, and Catman.
That is the Avengers.
Yeah, Kiss. What is the title of Rupert Holmes' hit about liking pina coladas and getting caught in the rain? Come on.
Oh, that one. Hey,
Yeah.
actually, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh, you like that song?
Yeah.
I shall line it up for you right now.
Hey, really?
Come on.
Okay.
Give me the title first.
Oh, title.
Yeah.
Okay. Yellow Ribbon.
Tie a yellow ribbon?
Yep.
Tie a yellow ribbon round the old tree. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like,
Yes.
I can't find the song yet, Pete. So talk to you at 5, Pete.
Yes, please, bro.